Down go the Ravens. Down go the Ravens. Dead birds. 17-10, the final. The Ravens proved to be chumps in the end as they are exterminated from the NFL postseason. They failed to win a home game with Baltimore weather. Rain, cool temperatures, all that nonsense. Meaningless. Home field advantage, my fat ass home field advantage, didn't matter. All of it, subterfuge. All of it. All right, so let us discuss. Kansas City now, they advance to Super Bowl 58. They will take on the 49ers, who were given a gift because Dan Campbell, God forbid, you do something other than analytics, Dan, dummy Dan. Yeah. How great was that? The Lions. Yeah. No, I don't want to take a 3-score lead and kick a field goal. No. I don't want to do it. No. God forbid. God, let me just open the door, and I will be like a shepherd and lead the 49ers back in the game. Right? They need a push. More on that later. So this will be the 4th trip, we are told, for the Chiefs in this generation of Patrick Mahomes in this era of Chiefs football. 4th time in the Super Bowl. The better story, though, for our purposes in talk radio is in the losing locker room. The Ravens. Oh, how great is that? How great is it to see those guys go out there and play like total frauds? Total frauds. It was different. They told us it was different. No, this is not like the Ravens team a few years ago that had a great regular season record and then was evaporated from the play. No, it's different. All right, so how much of the blame crab cake goes on the shoulders of Lamar Jackson? So I've got thespian, poison, and conquistador. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a nice tropical vacation, which Lamar Jackson is free to go on now. He doesn't have to worry about going out to Vegas to play in the Super Bowl because he ain't playing it. He wasn't invited. He was not invited to the Super Bowl. All right, so Lamar Jackson clearly gets the biggest of the batch that's right out of the oven there, the blame crab cakes there. He gets the biggest of the batch. In fact, it's the size of Maryland. That's how big the blame crab cake is for Lamar Jackson. The size of Maryland. Congratulations. Congratulations. And I love the excuses because Lamar's popular, right? And he's got a lot of idiots that like him. And so the idiots are like, well, it's the offensive coordinator's fault. It's this guy's fault, that guy's fault. The defense pitched a shutout in the second half, dummy, and Lamar could not get it done. The opportunity was there. Oh, he's got all these superpowers. All these superpowers. He was the Duke of Puke, Lamar Jackson. The Duke of Puke when it mattered in this game. They got 10 points. 10. Listen, the Chiefs have a good defense. It's the greatest defense in the Mahomes era. But 10 points? Come on. This is not the ironclad defense of all time in Kansas City. My goodness. All right, here's Lamar Jackson. Why don't we start with Harbaugh? We'll start with Harbaugh and not Jim because he's coaching the Chargers, so that would be John Harbaugh. Here is John Harbaugh and the wisdom given to his failed quarterback who sucked at a time you cannot suck. Here's the Ravens coach.
I told him to stand up tall. He's had a great season. His performance today was all heart. He fought. He went out there and gave it everything he had, so I don't think that's anything that I'd be disappointed in.
You should have told him before the game to stand up tall because that would have helped him maybe win the game. After the fact, telling him to stand up tall, that doesn't really help you.
We sucked.
Yeah.
And we sucked at a time that you can't suck.
From head to toe. All right, now here is more from Lamar Jackson and the bugaboo. Possession of the football is 9/10 of victory. Here is Lamar had a fumble and that interception into not one, not two, but three would-be Kansas City defenders. That's called triple coverage. Take a listen.
I felt like if we wouldn't have turned the ball over, we definitely would have had a shot. We definitely would have came out with a win, but they did a great job of not turning the ball over and putting points on the board.
Yes, if my aunt was my uncle, things would be different. But not the case. All right, here's more. Here's Lamar Jackson, who seems very confident that despite having the opportunity, everything set up, number one seed, you had the bye week, you're at home, rainy, cool Baltimore weather, and you're playing a team that has no receivers, 0 receivers. Lamar thinks, even though you blew that opportunity, oh, no, don't worry, things are going to be okay.
We're going to get it back next time. We're not worried about that.
Sure,
we all make mistakes. This is
That's
first
right.
season.
You made a lot of them.
It's my first time in this situation. It's his first time in this situation. We're going to bounce back. Nobody played the game perfect.
You certainly don't. So Lamar Jackson, right there at center stage, Lamar playing the role of the thespian. All right, Lamar was a thespian, and in this case, he forgot his lines. Now, I don't know whether he forgot his lines or he just never bothered to learn them. But either way, he had flop sweat out there. And as we have talked about here, you had the opportunity. You're the man in the arena. You have the opportunity to make the plays. I don't have the opportunity to make plays. You have the opportunity to make plays. You didn't make the plays. And everyone said you're going to make the plays. You said you were going to make the plays. You didn't make the plays. So that's on you, right? This goes with the territory. He had a clunker. He had the flop sweat and all that. And how bad was it? If you looked, I think it was midway through the third quarter, Lamar had 5 more completions than you did watching the game. It was bad. It was bad. And there was a lot of empty yards. The Ravens, they got yardage in the second half, but they didn't get points. So whoop-de-damn-do. All right, now, turning the page. Where does this loss now leave Lamar Jackson? He's going to pick up an MVP. How hollow is that going to be? Holy crap. You talk about hollow MVPs. Lamar's going to stand up there and smile and take the MVP. Anyway, this is what it leaves for Lamar. Lamar will be spinning butter. Okay, spinning butter there, soul-searching. Because whether you like it or not, and you can be the biggest Lamar fan guy, right? Biggest Lamar, you know what? Toe sucker. Here's the problem, right? You can love Lamar Jackson and all that. The reality is playoff Lamar is a real thing. He did not kill the demons by playing well in the second half against the Houston Texans, although he had about 150-something yards passing in that game, because the demons we're still there, and they popped up, and it's as they say in basketball, you can say it about football, it's a make or miss league, and you either make the plays or you don't, and he didn't make the plays. He missed, shot an air ball, game on the line, and being the regular season MVP, that's wonderful, right? It's great, people kiss your ass and all that, but you got to be able to step up in big moments in the playoffs, otherwise it doesn't matter all that much. It doesn't validate, it invalidates what you did during the regular season. And Lamar Jackson coughed up a fur ball. That's what happened here. And how bad? He had a fumble in the second quarter at the Ravens' 33-yard line. Right? Now, got bailed out because Andy Reid went for it on fourth down, didn't get the line to gain. Later in the fourth quarter, Jackson, he threw into triple coverage for some reason and was intercepted in the end zone. And so Lamar, he set the tone as John Harbaugh's team collectively played sloppy, but he's the headliner, and it goes on the shoulders of Lamar Jackson. Baltimore committed 8 penalties for 95 yards in this game. They had an unnecessary roughness by Kyle Van Noy, who's bounced all over the place. Patriot, I think it was a Patriot, but the Dolphins and the Chargers bounced around. He's a journeyman. A roughing the passer penalty on Travis Jones. That led to a field goal late in the first half. And it's also kind of like, you look at the Ravens, it's kind of like that Poison song, every rose has a thorn. And I guess every flower has a thorn, as in Zay Flowers. Whee! Who stinks? I've got to know. Zay Flowers. Yeah. So make a big play and then give it right back. Trailing by 10, the play, one of the key plays of this game, trailing by 10, you know what I'm talking about. You're start of the fourth quarter. And at the 9-yard line, pass complete, Chiefs are on the Ravens are on the 9-yard line, and Zay Flowers catches the short pass, and he dives towards the end zone. Fumble! Before crossing the goal line, and in the end zone, recovered. This wasn't one of those that went out of the end zone. This was recovered by Kansas City's defense in the end zone. The Chiefs recovered. That's a touchback situation. All right, final part of this, the last word, if you will, on this Maller monologue. So what has been the difference here on the other side for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs as they are back to the Super Bowl? And they were pretty blah all season. The idea that was not reality, that's also wrong. The Chiefs, the criticism of Kansas City was legitimate. They were El Stinko at the wide receiver position all season. So what has changed now in 3 playoff games here? Well, they've been so far able to hide the weakness. The weakness has come back to not bite them in the tuchus, and they've been able to clean things up. The Chiefs, for example, did not drop a pass on Sunday against the Ravens, despite the fact it was raining in Baltimore most of the game. It's the first time all season the Ravens, or the Chiefs rather, have not had a drop pass in the AFC title game. Every other game they had drop passes, probably more than one. Led the NFL in that category. And yet, in the biggest game they've played so far, not a single drop pass. And the key to that, of course, they locked away Kadarius Toney, so he could not line up off sides and all that. They just didn't even have him active for the game. Now, meanwhile, Traviskelce, who cooked, he was absolutely cooking. While he looked cooked during the season, he was cooking out there with gas in these playoff games during the postseason for Kansas City. And in the playoffs, he's been hanging out. I've determined, I had an epiphany, that he has been hanging out with his favorite conquistador, Ponce de Leon, that because, here's my deep state conspiracy on this, because he's friends with Taylor Swift and she's from another part of the galaxy, Taylor Swift was able to get a time machine and go back and contact Ponce de Leon, and Traviskelce was hanging out with him from another dimension. And that's why Traviskelce's been able to play like he's 5-6 years younger in these playoffs. The evidence of how ridiculous this has been and how it makes no sense. It makes zero sense that you would play this well. In the final 6 games of the regular season, Traviskelce had 29 total receptions. He averaged 4.8 yards per catch and had 0 touchdowns. In 3 playoff games, he's got 23 catches. In 3 playoff games, he's averaging over 11 yards per reception and has 3 touchdowns. So final 6 games, no touchdowns and a paltry less than 5 yards per catch. In the playoffs, he's closer to 12 and 3 touchdowns. Explain the unexplainable.